Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video on a TeleDad deck. Now, TeleDad was 2008, 2009 in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I would say right before GOAT format, it's like the second most played previous format in Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of reasons why. Similar to GOAT, there's a lot of resource management, there's a lot of planning ahead, and it's anticipating what your opponent's going to do. So I'm gonna go over my deck list, and I'll give my explanation as I go along. First off, Sangan, very important card. Number one, it's your best crush card target, and on top of that, it searches your malicious. So if you don't open malicious and you have a D draw and you have a Sangan, you're gonna try and crash him or set him and hope they break him, and then you go into you have to grab your Destiny Hero. So that's really the only reason you run the Sangan. Next up, you run the Doom Lord. Doom Lord is good in the mirror match because Stardust Dragon is a really good way to protect your Dark Arm Dragons. So you'll summon out Doom Lord and you can banish their Stardust Dragons for 2 turns, and then they come back. So it gives you enough time to break their board. And next up, these are all your level 3s, by the way. I run the one Spirit Reaper. Spirit Reaper is important because he's extremely annoying to get around, and it forces your opponent to have to go into Dark Arm Dragon, or they can go into Red Dragon Archfiend, or what's his name? Snipe Hunter. So that's not many outs to a Spirit Reaper, and he just lets you accumulate resources. So that's all your level 3s. And then from there, you run one Breaker, the Magical Warrior. He was good even past GOAT format. Just being able to pop a spell and trap card in the field is extremely strong. He's dark, so I mean, it helps with the allures. Other than that, that's really all he's really used for. So yeah, it's really good, in the Oppression build. If you're going against someone using the Oppression build, you can just summon him and then take the token off, and then or the counter off, and blow up the Oppression. So really important for that reason alone. Next up, very important, is Snipe Hunter. This card is so good. There are moments where you have excess cards in the hand, and if your opponent over establishes a board, because that's possible in this, you can summon a Snipe Hunter, and if luck's on your side, you can actually haul some good booty, just blowing up some cards. So those are your generic level 4s. Now we're gonna get into your really serious level 4s. Dark Grepher is extremely important. He lets you send the malicious from your hand to special summon him, or you can send a Plague Spreader from your hand to send a malicious from the deck to the grave. So he helps with the consistency factor. He helps pitch monsters to the grave that you need. Other than that, that's really all you're using him for, just to make sure you get those malicious and those Plague Spreaders in the grave. Next up, free my boy, right? Stratos is around back then, actually, believe it or not. Being able to search, his second ability actually comes up quite a bit too. Being able to search, a malicious is what you usually use him for. But if you establish a board and you don't have any spell and trap removal, and you just want to summon him back, right, and then blow up 2 back row if you have enough heroes on the board, it's pretty good. Even just blowing up 1 can win you the game sometimes. So, and then Diamond Dude. This is actually the main hero, I would say. There are so many cheeky plays you can do with Diamond Dude, especially with Plague Spreader in this deck. If you have Plague Spreader in the grave and you have a D draw in your hand and a Diamond Dude in your hand, it's actually probably in your best interest to summon the Diamond Dude, activate the Plague Spreader effect to bring itself back, and then Plague Spreader makes you place 1 card from your hand on the top of the deck, so you set back the Destiny draw, and then you activate a Diamond Dude's effect to mill the Destiny draw, and then next turn you get to draw 2 cards free of charge, so pretty good. What goes along with that would be Plague Spreader Zombie. Just a good card. It's one of your synchro materials, so that's really it. Next up, this is actually, now you're getting into the heart of the soul of the deck. Triple Krebins. I've play tested with just 2 and a Psychic Commander, or whatever he's called, the level 3 guy. Here's a problem, right? Krebins, you always open with Krebins, right? And here's the downside of opening with Krebins. He's in your hand, and that means realistically you only have 2 good uses for your emergency teleports. You can summon him from the hand, but he's better off for banishing with Allure Darkness. And Psychic Commander, I don't know if I draw into my Krebins and I have an Allure, like I have to banish it off. I don't have a choice. So I like having 3 because it always feels like you open one, you have to banish it. So 3 it is. Sorry if you hear that. It's storming outside pretty hard, so I decided to make a video. Next up, the triple malicious. Malicious is he's still used today in Link format. I mean, that just goes to show the design of this card and how well it's been able to keep a presence in Yu-Gi-Oh. You being able to mill it, right, and then being able to special summon one from the deck, and you have one other one on top of that. It's just such a good card. It gives you, I'm not gonna say a recurring resource, but even if you have kind of a dead hand, just having one malicious in the graveyard can make it a good hand. Worst case, with the malicious, you open up 2 of them and he's Allure fodder. Best case, you know, you can get him on board with like relative ease, and then let's say you also have a crush card in hand, and that's pretty much game for your opponent. So next up, card I don't like but I run, Gores. I have a lot of problems with Gores. First of all, if you open Gores, it's kind of like a yay and a nay, because you look at it in your hand and you're like, great, I have a Gores, but that means I have to play with him. So what? You just don't set a board and let your opponent attack you directly and then special summon him? Like, your opponent can have plenty of outs to him, right? So you have to waste one turn, right, where your opponent can get a crush card off or whatnot just to get him off. So I'm kind of bipartisan on Gores. He has won me a couple games. So, I mean, teach their own. And then finally, you know, wouldn't be called TeleDad without Dad. Dark Arm Dragon, he's your boy. I mean, it's Dark Arm Dragon. There's a reason this card is still at 1 today in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, it's just so good. Being able to special summon a 2,800 beat stick with 0 cost, because he just special summons himself when you have three dark monsters in your graveyard, and then being able to banish one and then pop a card on the field, just, it's so good. That's gonna do it for your monster count. Moving on to spells. Triple Allure Darkness. I mean, having triple Allure just adds the consistency of this deck. I mean, being able to kind of change out your hand whenever you need to, it's really good. Next up, triple D-Draw, right? I mean, you're running 4 heroes, so, well, 3 Destiny heroes, that is, and being able to D-Draw them away if you need to, it's just such a good card. And being able to get this card's effect off of Plague Spreader or Diamond Dude, like the reset part, oh my god, just getting a free draw too, it's just stupid. It's just stupid good. And then next up, the actual really broken card of this deck is Emergency Teleport. This card's at 1. I don't think it's ever going to come back to 2, especially in Link format. It just wouldn't make sense. Being able to special summon a tuner from your deck just with using this card and then banishing it with when it leaves the field has only gotten better as time has gone on in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, just, it's such a good card. It's broken. You can play it defensively, like if your opponent's kicking your butt, right? You just set one of them, they try attack you, you go this, and you can summon out some Krebins and protect your life points. But at that point, you know, you're on the defense. So next up, Double Rhoda. Rhoda was at 3, but you don't run it at 3 because you don't need it. You already have so many searching and so much draw power. Just running 3 is kind of counterintuitive. And next up, Mystical Space Typhoon and Heavy Storm. Your spell and trap removal was limited, and this is all you got. So you just rolled with the punches. All right, next up, this is a preference card. I run Lightning Vortex. To each their own. I think being able to utilize that engine with, you know, Plague Spreader and Diamond Dude is really good, and there have been times where I've pulled off this Lightning Vortex free of costs, right? And what's also really nice about the Lightning Vortex, this forces your opponent to go into a Stardust Dragon if they want to protect their field. Very important to point that out, because, you know, being able to force them into a bad place sometimes is really good. Next up, because it's stupid good, Brain Control. I mean, who doesn't like Brain Control? And then last but not least, Monster Reborn. That's going to do it for your spells. Now we're going to move on to the traps. Crush Card Virus. This card got errated. Thank God it did. It's broken. Blowing up your opponent's side of the field, checking their hand for 3 turns, and then destroying all 1,500 or more monsters. Stupidly good. Especially with Sangan. Summon Sangan, set this. Opponent goes, they draw, activate this, you win. Very few games I've seen people come back from this. It's good. It's gone, but it's fun to have it in Goat form, and not in Goat format, in TeleDad, just to mess around with it. Next up, worst crush card, turn to tribute. They do the same thing. They blow up field. This one's better though, but you need this. Wow, that's some serious thunder. Next up, double Phoenix Wingwind Blast. This card is really good because whenever your opponent goes into a synchro monster, right, you just flip you just flip this, right, and then you send whatever from your hand to the grave, and then you bounce it back, and they just kind of wasted materials. That's really all it's used for. And last but not least, because, you know, triple Solemn Judgment. Now, nowadays, if Judgment was at 3, people would just say that's stupid because you can negate. Ooh, you can negate all their plays. Back then, this is actually a very skillful card because there's not many big plays. It's like Goat format, right? Like, not many people run Judgment in Goat format because it's a really risky card to pay half your life points and just kind of, you know, see if you can guess the right big play. In TeleDad, like, if they summon a dad, you let them, and then when they banish one, then you'd activate this. Having it at 3 actually is quite skillful, but if your opponent opens up 2, it's pretty annoying because any play you do try to get momentum, it just doesn't work out. Alright, now we're going to move on to the extra deck. This is just a Lapthus in here. This is the Gores token, so, yeah, I mean, who cares about that? Magical Android. You run Magical Android because gaining life points is meh, but the fact that you can Snatch Steal something, not Snatch Steal, Brain Control, and then like you summon Sangan or something, and let's say it was a level 2 tuner, because both people are probably running 4 of them, you can just go into Magical Android, so that's really all you're really running it for. Also, I mean, it's good for gaining life points, so that's it pretty much. Double Yugioh. Yugioh Guardian is an extremely important card because you can attack their Stratos, send Stratos to the grave, and then summon it back to your side field and get the search. That's really the main use of Yugioh, and whenever they do have a Stratos, you're probably going to try and go Yugioh, get that free search off. Colossal Fighter is just like the trolliest card ever back then, considering the fact that like when he gets sent to the grave, like you just special summon him right back. It's so annoying to get over this card, but he's good. Double Thought Ruler. Thought Ruler is good late game, considering the fact that you know, he gains. If your opponent were to activate a spell or trap that like targets one sidekick monster, which could be a Krebins, but most of the time you're just going to target, you know, they're going to target the Thought Ruler, right? You can just negate it by paying 1,000. Also, it's really nice that when you attack an opponent's monster and it goes to the grave, you gain life points equal to its attack. Now you're getting to like the power cards of the. So Red Dragon Archfiend, just so good. This is how you get rid of their Spirit Reapers. Just very offensive card. And last but not least, I mean, Stardust Dragon. Stardust Dragon is just such a good card. If you have this and Dark Arm Dragon on board and they don't have any traps set, like, that is such an uphill battle for anyone to fight against. Just a lot of negates, a lot of destruction. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm trying to upload some stuff to YouTube. I don't know why, I just felt like I should lately. But yeah, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll upload some more content. Alright, peace.